This is Stepford County Railway, a train simulator on Roblox that was made in 2017. SCR is one of the most unique simulators in the train simulator genre, and it is one of the most popular train simulator games on Roblox with 100 million visits. The job in SCR is pretty simple. Drive trains on the fictional railway network in the British county of Stepford, earn as much points as you can, and by that I mean actually play the game instead of just using Robux to buy points. Scumbag. Use your points to unlock a variety of different trains and operators, and train in-game to join and play with different roles. Now, like with many games on Roblox, train simulator games on Roblox are quite a mixed bag. Some are very well done, with accurate models, accurate sounds, and detailed scenery. And then there are the ones that are just complete garbage. Plagues with bugs, atrocious controls, and half-baked models and scenery. But Stepford County Railway has none of those common issues. SCR is very well made for a game made on an engine so crude and limited like the Roblox engine. The graphics are great for the most part, and most of the models in-game are actually original models instead of just the default models that the Roblox engine provides you with. Not only that, but the reason why I have also said that SCR is a very unique train simulator is because the game itself is more than just a plain old train simulator. The game comes with a variety of different roles you can play as that are based off of real-life jobs on the railway, like dispatching, guarding, and signalling. So yeah, SCR is quite an amazing game. However, there is a contender on the rise, a game that is slowly getting more and more popular. British Railway. First created in 2022, British Railway is another Roblox train simulator that is very similar to how SCR works, but with some major differences. Unlike SCR, where it has stuff like fictional train operating companies, British Railway has a more realistic approach, consisting of train operators with liveries from real-life train operating companies in the UK. Probably weren't such a good idea though, as British Railway actually got in trouble with the Department of Transport for using these liveries, and also using the British Rail double arrow symbol, which is why the devs had to change it. Not sure why British Railway got in trouble for using the double arrow logo when SCR also uses it, but whatever.
That's how the law works.
While British Railway also has a variety of different roles to play as, like SCR, the roles in British Railway are a lot more complex and have a variety of different features that weren't seen before in SCR. British Railway overall, from its roles to its gameplay to its graphics, etc., is a lot more advanced than SCR. This, of course, has sparked a bit of a rivalry between the two, particularly in their fandoms. Every now and again, you'll see people arguing and debating in chat about whether British Railway or SCR is better. So as I am a very frequent and religious player in SCR, I decided to throw my hat in the ring in this very nerdy as fuck debate. And I'm going to see whether Stepford County Railway is the supreme Roblox train simulator, or if British Railway is the supreme Roblox train simulator, by comparing the two games together and dissecting the two one by one in certain aspects such as gameplay and quality. Now, I'm not the first person to have done this. Several videos on this topic have already been made in the past, so of course this video isn't going to be like the definitive answer on which of these two games are better. So take everything I say with a pinch of salt, if you will. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin and see whether Stepford County Railway or British Railway is better. The quality. Okay, so I think before we get into the one big factor that makes the game truly good, being the gameplay, I think it's just better off to get the less important stuff out of the way first, and that is the quality. So I think British Railway is definitely a lot better than SCR in terms of quality.
Don't believe me?
Let me show you what I mean. So unless you play with an RTX graphics thingy, I don't know the tech garbage in PC gaming, shut up. The quality in SCR is very simplistic. While the game does have a lot of goodies in terms of quality, like original models and vehicles built from scratch instead of just using the Roblox engine's default models, the quality in SCR is still quite simplistic and constrained. Sunrises and sunsets is pretty much the best SCR can get in terms of quality. Now, it could just come down to game engines. Like I said before, the Roblox engine is a very basic, crude, and limited engine. You really won't get far in terms of quality when you're using that to make games, no matter how hard you try. And it has shown to be a massive thorn in the developers' sides in recent years. In August of 2022, when the devs released version 1.10, yes, version 1.10 was 3 years ago. Remember that update when it was so buggy and broken beyond belief? Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Anyways, in version 1.10, it included an extension from Jane Street to Stepford. And according to the developers, the Stepford extension was to be the last ever extension to the core railway network in SCR. The reasons why was not only due to the fact that the devs wanted to focus on improving the gameplay experience, but it is also because of the fact that the Roblox engine has a limited amount of space it can give to maps. So even if the devs wanted to continue expanding the network, they literally and physically couldn't. And even if they did have the space to expand more, the game wouldn't be able to run on most devices because of the huge amount of extra textures and graphics. There would be more lines added in SCR in other updates post 1.10, like the Rayleigh Bay branch and the Barton Loop line, but those were all added within the existing SCR map, not extra space. SCR is definitely going to have to at some point move away from the Roblox engine. The limitations that the devs have with the game and the usual bugs with Roblox, like servers disconnecting for no reason, is becoming a massive thorn both on the sides of devs and us players. But to be honest, with the predominant player base SCR has, I really doubt it. Although that doesn't mean the devs have not made the game the best it can be with their limitations, because they definitely had. Even with the Roblox engine's limitations, SCR is still a very good game in terms of quality. The trains are well modelled, the stations look fantastic, and the game definitely has an accurate recreation of the real-life railway network in the UK. From the station announcements to the onboard announcements, voices that are actually voiced by people who used to voice for British train operators and stations. The quality isn't perfect though, as I explained earlier, but that's not down to the devs, that's down to the Roblox engine itself. Anyway, long tangent over. Let's now see why I think British Railway is a lot better than SCR in terms of quality. Now, unlike SCR, where they wanted to keep the quality to a bare minimum because of gameplay performance, British Railway went all out and pushed the Roblox engine to its limits, while also making the game as good as it can for all devices. British Railway has things like weather patterns, NPC passengers, and more accurate sound effects like rail squeaking and braking.
Light work, no reaction. Ooh. Okay, it's got a little kick. Oh! Oh, it's got a little... Oh,
all of these just aren't possible for SCR. Why? Well, the reason why SCR doesn't have any of these kinds of detailed graphics is because the map in SCR is way too big. If the devs even dared to add one of these detailed graphics into SCR, the game would definitely crash and destroy so many devices. But what the devs of BR tried here is that they have a much more smaller map and a much smaller server size, allowing the devs to add whatever they want without the fear of having less players because of device compatibility. It is really genius. So overall, while SCR's quality is mid because of its map size, the quality in British Railway is definitely a lot better than SCR, as it has so much detailed graphics and features, while also maintaining perfect device performance with its smaller maps. So British Railway definitely wins in that field. Okay, so now that the quality is out of the way, let's get into the big factor. The gameplay. Alright, so this is quite a difficult one, as SCR and BR are pretty much overall the same when it comes to gameplay and the variety you get in the game itself. Why? Well, like I said way earlier in the video, SCR, and by extension BR as well, is a very unique train simulator because the two games overall have so much more variety in terms of gameplay, and they come with features that have never been seen before in Train Simulator. In Train Simulator, you just drive a train, and drive a train, and waste your money on ludicrously expensive enhancement packs where you drive a train. There's not a whole lot to it. I mean, you can have the option to drive trains in many countries, but that's pretty much it. Train Simulator, Train Sim World, etc. As amazing games as they are, they don't have a lot of variety, and it can get boring pretty easily and very quickly. But SCR and BR, on the other hand, have none of those issues. I think calling SCR and BR train simulators is kind of an unsuitable description, as they are more like railway simulators, to be honest. You can play with people online in different servers, whereas train simulator games are just single player and are more objective focused. And you not only get to drive in SCR and BR, but you can also be a signaller and coordinate the train to the signals in the network, dispatch trains as a dispatcher, and guard trains as a guard. Oh yeah, and there's also a supervisor role in SCR, but there's not a lot to say about them, to be honest. Basically, think of supervisors as like Discord mods, both functionally and behaviorally. Like, I'm not even joking, I've seen supervisors behaving like they are superior to everyone else, like they're the Prime Minister or something. Like, bro, shut up. You're a mod in a Lego train game. You're not special, touch grass. It makes the two games so much more fun to play than any regular old train simulator. However, SCR does lack a little bit in terms of gameplay. For example, the trains. In SCR, when you buy the trains, you pretty much get the train as it is, whether it would be 2 coaches or 3 coaches or 4 or 5 or 6 or so on. You don't get to customize or add on to it. SCR does have a game pass where it allows you to get longer trains and double units. I myself have the game pass and it is quite fun to play with. However, the Game Pass doesn't include all of the trains from all of the operators. Stepford Connect and Waltz Line are the only operators in the game that don't have long trains included in the Game Pass. For those operators, you can get some extra long variants when you buy a specific train, like the Class 158. However, that's pretty much it. Whereas in BR, on the other hand, you can have the option to customize your trains and have them as long as you want. 1 to 12 coach long Turbo Star? Pfft. Go right ahead. And you can even mix different trains together, something that was never seen before or even thought of in SCR. However, what really makes BR stand out from SCR is the driving system and how it treats new players. The driving system in SCR, while it's easy to get the hang of it, it does feel a lot more simplistic. Now, children contribute a lot to SCR's player base, so it is pretty understandable as to why the driving system in SCR is the way it is. Whereas BR, on the other hand, its driving system is a lot more realistic and it's primarily focused on catering towards older players. The acceleration and deceleration is slower and is a lot less automatic, whereas in SGR you go from 0 to 100 in like 20 seconds and you can neutralize the speed pretty easily. Whereas in BR, it forces you to put more effort into your driving and it is so much more challenging to stop at the correct car markers at stations. Trains in real life are heavy machines after all, and they require a lot of skill to drive. So British Railway definitely nails it in realistic gameplay. Another thing I love about British Railway as well is that the game is so much more welcoming to new players. People who have heard of SCR and BR but have not played Train Simulator probably don't know how the mechanics of Train Simulator works. So British Railway provides you with a lot of successful tips on how to play the game, such as how to drive and how to use features like the horn or lights. It's so helpful. Whereas in SCR, the tutorials are lackluster at best. The only place where you can get a full-on tutorial is by actually joining the training sessions where you have to participate in if you want to access the other roles. It sounds good on paper, but the reason why I don't like it is that you have to join and participate in the training sessions to get an understanding of how the game works. And if you don't want to join the training sessions, you're pretty much left on your own to learn for yourself. All you get is just tips and commands to do certain actions, like prepare to stop at the station or proceed to the next station. There are no tips or advice on how to use the controls. You're pretty much just left on your own to learn for yourself. Oh, what? I'm stuck because I ran through a red light? Oh, silly me. Maybe I could have done that if you told me to not do that. So overall, in terms of gameplay, while both BR and SCR are very unique in terms of gameplay and have a lot of variety compared to regular train simulators, SCR struggles in terms of realistic gameplay and tutorials for new players, whereas BR has a perfect driving system where it forces you to put more effort into your driving and it overall feels very welcoming to new players. So, which is better, SCR or BR? Well, to be honest, from a gamer perspective, it's definitely BR by a long shot. The game overall feels a lot more better than SCR in terms of gameplay and quality. But do I think SCR is a terrible game? No, absolutely not. SCR is a pretty good game to play. There's so many routes, trains, and operators to choose from. The scenery is also superb, and the wide selection of roles makes the game more fun to play. While it has its issues, the game is still pretty good. So, from a wider perspective, I think BR and SCR are both good games in their own areas. SCR is definitely the right game for you to get into if you like simplistic gameplay, and BR is definitely the right game for you to get into if you're a very experienced player in the world of train simulators as a whole. The question of whether SCR or BR is better will probably forever remain contested depending on who you ask. But in my humble opinion, both games are pretty amazing, and I definitely recommend playing them. So yeah, that was my review on Stepford County Railway and British Railway, and which of the two I think is better. I know this review wasn't like my usual Five Nights at Freddy's review content at all, but for a while now I have been wanting to expand my reviews by covering not just Five Nights at Freddy's, but also covering other games as well. So this video was definitely a lot more fun to make, knowing that I'm finally escaping the usual FNAF grind. This doesn't mean I'll stop reviewing FNAF though, absolutely not. I love making FNAF review content, and I still plan to for years to come. It's just that I feel like now is the right time to expand and not review the same old, you know? So yeah, anyway, this is pretty much the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope it was informative and entertaining. Do you think SCR or BO is better? If so, let me know your opinions in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Threads. Join my Discord server. Invite link is in the about page and the pinned comments. And I shall see you all in the next video. Bye bye!